Hello, everyone. I'm Stan Garber here with Levelpath, and I'm with
Libby Sestak. Happy to be here, Stan.
So today we're going to be talking about intake and orchestration, but specifically we're going to focus on the stakeholder experience and intake.
Yeah, but Stan, I have to stop you there. Today, there's actually so much more than just intake when it comes to an AI front door. Intake used to be just a way to receive a request, maybe put in some information, and submit it over to the procurement team. But now, a true AI native front door can actually provide so much more value to your stakeholders.
It's beyond a request, because a request comes in, it's something you already have to deal with, or you're buying something, basically.
Yeah.
This becomes a guide for policies, procedures, statuses, anything they want to access about procurement and much more. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Any action they want to take, any information they need, before we used to have to go to the procurement team, interrupt them, get that information, and now, inside of Levelpath, it's all just at your fingertips.
It's almost like a procurement concierge.
So let's take a look at it here. So Stan, if you were a stakeholder and you wanted to know something from the front door, what's a question that you would want to ask?
Booking a trip to New York. Let's say, what's my policy for how much I could spend on a New York hotel and where do I actually book it?
Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead and say, I need to book a trip to New York. What is the policy? Now, what's going to happen here behind the scenes is that all of those different policies that we've loaded into Levelpath's AI front door are going to be surfaced for that stakeholder. Now, instead of them having to read through a long policy document to find this very specific information, they can simply ask for what they need. So, Stan, this actually goes for absolutely any policy that you have in your business. We give it to Levelpath, and it does the rest.
That's pretty good, because I have spoken to countless leaders, and when I ask how many folks read their procurement policies, guess what I get typically? Blank stare.
No one wants to read a policy document. Now, Stan, let's say that she got our information. Maybe she actually wants to book her travel. Again, all she has to do is tell the front door, and it's going to direct her to the right system, to the right process in order to book that travel. So here it's saying, hey, you don't do that in here, you do it in Concur. It's sending her over to that right system. Again, all in the same chat.
I love it. All right, now let's go into, there's a few different, do you want to go through, maybe do a few request samples?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what kind of requests? We've got, maybe I have a contract, maybe I need to buy something, or even an invoice. What do you want to start with?
You know, Stan, you were just telling me the other day that Levelpath employees are used to constantly come up to you and be like, hey, I have this MSA, or I have this order form, or I have this SOW, and I need to get it approved and signed. And they didn't know where to go. But now with the AI front door, I'm going to show you how we have completely changed the way that we do this at Levelpath. So all our stakeholder has to do is take their MSA and throw it into the front door. They don't even have to write a message. Just like that, they can send this through, and it's going to extract all of the information that it needs in order to create that request on their behalf. Now, what you're going to see here is that it is actually telling me, hey, you have loaded in this contract before. Are you sure you want to do this? So Stan, if you ever have someone in the business that is utilizing a contract that's already been signed or executed, this is going to actually detect that duplicate. Same thing goes for an invoice or anything else you submit through the front door. But we're going to go ahead, surpass this for the sake of today, and instead now start off that workflow. And as I said, we're going to extract all of the metadata to fill out that intake form. And as you can see on the right-hand side, we have a filled out intake form. Our stakeholder didn't have to do anything, and it makes it so much easier to do.
So it does all the extractions, and it takes their code, their manager, everything. You can extract that based on their hierarchy. It does it all.
Yeah, based on their user profile, based on their hierarchy and their org, we can actually assign any of the information that is personal to them. And all of these fields are custom fields that we extracted from that contract. You don't have to just pick from a standard list of fields that are going to be able to be pulled out from a document like this. You can create any custom field that you would like.
Is there a limitation to the fields we can extract from?
Well, it's a great question, and Stan, the answer is absolutely no. You can make as many custom fields as you would like, and our AI assistant is going to be able to extract information for absolutely any of them.
All right, so, okay, contracts, that's cool. What if we took a look at my statuses of a particular request that I have going on?
Yeah, Stan, it's a great call out, because one of the questions that we get the most as a procurement team is, what is the status of my request? Who is it waiting on, and how much longer is it going to be? Now, utilizing what we call a task agent here at the top, we're actually going to automatically be able to collect all of that information from our assistant here in the front door. Now, it's actually going into all of my requests, gathering the status, any other information that it can find, and putting it into this nice table format that I asked it for. When I configured this agent, it was all done via natural language. So Stan, if you want a slightly different output here that maybe is just bullets or doesn't have all of the emojis that I like, That's okay. We can simply tell it through natural language when we configure the agent.
So you're telling me like the front door experience can be completely controlled, like tone, the messages, the follow-up, like you can control it all?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything in Levelpath is completely configurable, all through natural language, no code, ever.
How do I access, if I need to, let's say, access a particular request or just actually get a little more detail around it?
Let's say we want to take a deeper look at that first request there, CR3. I can say, show me CR3, and it's going to go ahead and pull that information for me so that I can jump into that specific request. Here we can see that we have all of the information we could ever need, all summarized for us. But if I want to take a closer look, I can simply click here and it's actually going to send me into that request.
So you have access to all of this now. You don't have to ask anybody, you have to ping somebody in the business. Like you're telling me I can use the front door.
Yeah, Stan, actually, I was showing you this today in hopes that you would start using the front door instead of always asking us for questions. No, I'm just kidding. Stan, yes, you can ask any question that you have here in the front door at your fingertips. And honestly, the opportunities are endless.
Now, when we take a step back here, is there anything else that comes to mind that I think our users or our customers or prospects would love to know about Front Door?
Yeah, I mean, Stan, I think something that's important too is actually how does it all work? You know, I think you look at this and it looks like magic. It feels like, okay, but what about my business? And what's incredible about the front door is that, again, just like every other part of Levelpath, there's absolutely no coding required. You as a customer simply give us all of your company policies, we feed them into the front door, and it's able to give us information just like what you've seen throughout this entire demo.
So if you want to allow it to look at your supplier data or your contract data or others, it's almost like just in the admin, you can permission what level of exposure you're giving the front door to the stakeholders to be able to do based on their level of permission.
Yes, exactly, Stan. For example, if you only have access to IT contracts and you ask about a marketing contract, you're not going to get to see that in the front door. If I have access to everything, I can ask any question and see that information. So everything is going to be hidden behind those permission guardrails, exactly.
When you jumped in at the beginning, you mentioned the capability of really this intake. It's way beyond. It's a front door. It's your procurement concierge. It's designed to do ticket deflection as its first stop, getting answers to stakeholders when they need it, and then guiding them through the purchasing process and helping them actually fill all this out. And that's the power of AI and bringing that all together here with Levelpath. Libby, thank you so much for walking us through all of this. And thanks, everyone.